What is up, guys? We have a new type of video today as requested by one of you guys, and it is a very good idea. Basically, I'm going to be analyzing a duel between me and some random loser online, because he's a loser because he's playing Tearlaments, clearly. And so yeah, this deck is a mixed bag for sure. There's a lot of hand traps. He has Nibiru, 𝗦𝗡𝗧𝗏𝗧, and 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗍, all the contenders, and actually 𝗦𝗨𝗣𝗍𝗧𝗏 too. Okay, so he has a lot of negates and a lot of interruptions for sure. And he also, for some reason, has punk cards. I'm not exactly sure why he's mixing punk with Tearlaments, and he also has a couple of 𝗠𝗔𝗡𝗏 cards. It's a mixed bag for sure, but it's still a powerful deck, it seems like, nonetheless, because Tears are very powerful in general. And his side deck seems about par for the course. There's nothing crazy here. I guess he's using punk cards to try to get out Barone for some more negates, and I guess that's cool. The punk cards could also technically, it seems like, no, they can't. Okay, I don't know why he has Time Thief Redoer and a Zeus, to be honest. But you know what? That's enough of this. Let's go ahead into the duel. Alright, so of course I am playing Elemental Heroes, and actually I've been messing with my deck quite a bit. Yeah, it's pure Elemental Heroes for the most part. There's some extra heroes. Actually, one extra hero, and then a 𝗦𝗡𝗗𝗏𝗧𝗏. 𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗏 is king in Master Duel for heroes. I guess it depends too, because there's some cards that lock you out. But anyways, this hand it's alright. I'm going first, though, so it's not... 𝗦𝗨𝗍𝗏 you don't want to see going first. Unless you have other cards that can combo into. I don't. I have Stratos and 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏 I can use to search out Poly, of course. But I don't want to do that. I don't know why I didn't want to do that this game. I do remember a little bits and pieces of this game, guys. I'm going to summon Stratos, and with this effect, I am going to search out Spirit of Neos. Spirit of Neos is one of the best cards in this deck. I see some people playing 2, but I think 2 is bricky. You don't really want to see this guy turn 1 unless you can summon him, right? So two cards in a deck I feel is a little bricky in my opinion, but at the same time I kind of see why people run 2, because if your opponent can't out your Spirit of Neos, your deck, it's not useless, but it does lose its power, right? So having 2 prevents your opponent from just outing your Neos, your one copy of Neos, but I still don't necessarily agree with the 2 copies. So anyways, I try to go for instant contact, so I want to go to 𝗦𝗡𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 and then Neos Fusion into probably 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, because that's usually what I go for. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, my boy, but my opponent here uses 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. I do not like giving my opponent advantage, so once he 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s, I summon whatever. So typically what I do with instant contact, right, is I go for Flame Wingman, and then I link it away for 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, because if you don't link your Flame Wingman and you don't have a Neos in the field or in the graveyard, your instant contact will force you to return your Flame Wingman back to the deck, which kind of sucks. But it balances it out as well, right? Because you cheat out a free elemental hero, you kind of need it to be balanced, right? Imagine your opponent using this in a generic deck. You can see where problems arise, right? So since he 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, I don't like giving my opponents advantage, so I stop and I let instant contact return my boy Flame Wingman to the deck. I say, you know what, it's fine. I have protection here with Spirit of Neos, and then I also have 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, so if he wants to extend further, I'm fine with that, and he will extend further. So he activates some punk card, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and he searches. Amazing, love it. We're gonna speed forward here though, because I don't think there's much going on. Okay, so he wants me to get cards for some reason. Here's the thing about a lot of people that complain about 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 isn't the problem. The problem is decks that combo, and that's what 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is mitigating. 𝗦𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, now if your argument is that it should be at 1, Sure, why not? I actually wouldn't mind that. Sometimes I even just play one, to be honest. Max C is an easily preventable card, and you will see. I mean, I got Max C, but I am gonna win this duel. He got Max Seed, and he's giving me hand advantage. Why would you do that? You know, like why bitch about something that you can avoid? Max C is a strong card, but it's not that strong. So he's gonna continue. He's gonna link, or was it Synchro? I think it's Synchro into Chaotic Magical Dragon, giving me another card off Max C. And I mean, this card, you know, when it first came out and when it was banned in the TCG, I was like, why are they hitting it? But the more and more I'm seeing a lot of decks, Melfi, for example, they excavate cards, and actually even Speedroids have some cards that excavate cards. I think it's fuck, well, the green-haired guy, the toy, green-haired toy. I don't know what they're going for with that guy. I'll put an image of him in post, but excavating cards isn't that bad. Now it's not as good as just drawing like 5 cards, obviously, but excavating cards is kind of a mini search, right? And in Yu-Gi-Oh, it's the hierarchy of what you want to do, or the best cards, right, for getting resources out of your deck. It's search for sure, because you, with search, you get exactly what you want, and then it would be drawing. But I would say excavating goes in the middle of that. I would say in that case it's going to be search, then excavating, and then drawing, depending on how many cards you excavate. Chaotic Ruler Dragon or whatever, he will excavate 5 cards. So this card is actually pretty strong. A long way of me saying, yeah, the TCG did it right. This card should be banned because it's a very generic card and kind of recycles himself and also mills cards from your deck. And what he's doing here, though, in particular, is Tearlaments, they prefer to be put in the graveyard because their effects activate in the graveyard. That's why they work really well with these Shizu cards, because they also mill cards, or kind of this. They make you and your opponents send cards from your deck to the graveyard, essentially. And this is also why Tearlament players run Foolish Burial, because they send cards directly from the graveyard. So now we're gonna see him pop off a little bit with his tier deck. Now here's a little something I really like. I don't think a lot of people use this combo or even know about it. Max C and Droll and Lockbird are pretty fucking nice. So if you guys don't know, a lot of people, once they see you activate Max C, will try to deck you out. Droll and Lockbird will prevent that. So as long as you have Droll and Lockbird in your deck, you're bound to draw it sometime within time with Max C, right? So in a sense, you won't be decked out because Droll and Lockbird will be in your deck, and then it'll also prevent your opponent from extending, as we will see here. Because now I activate Droll and Lockbird, and he can't search cards. He wants to keep extending, but he can't, and he also cannot deck me out. Now, the drawback, of course, is I can't draw a card, so Max C is dead. I kind of do want more resources, but at the same time, looking at my hand, I can play really well with just this hand, right? So I was like, you know what, we'll use Droll and Lockbird now, lock both of us out, and good thing, because I think he's going to search something off of this. When your opponent activates, blah, blah, blah. Maybe not. I don't know why Droll and Lockbird kicked off. Maybe it was because of him summoning something, and then I got prevented that draw. But anyway, so he is going to try to swing over, and here I wanted to bait out as a negate, right? So because I know I'm not too familiar, or I wasn't too familiar at this point about Tearlaments, but I knew he had an effect. I read his effect basically, and I knew he had a negate, is what I'm trying to say, and I didn't know that you can basically tribute him itself and then revive itself. Like, that's fucking OP. But anyways, we try to bait out the negate. We get the negate. He tributes himself, and then he recycles the same damn card. That is insane, dude. Insane. But I think there is a clause. If this fusion summon card is sent to the graveyard by your card effect, you can special summon this card. Okay, so there isn't. That is crazy. When your opponent activates a card or effect, negate the activation. If you do destroy it, then send one to your elements. That is pretty crazy, because it isn't destruction or even tribute. It is if it's sent to the graveyard. That is a really good... this is a really good card. I think this is at 1 too, so good pick, as well. Holy shit. So basically, right, if the clause said if this fusion summon card is tributed to the and sent to the graveyard, then that's a harsh restriction. If it said destroyed and sent to the graveyard, that's another hard restriction. But it says sent to the graveyard, so that includes everything that I just listed, right? Very powerful effect indeed. Anyway, so it's my turn, and I have a really good hand. And Crosskeeper, I think I just drew, is an amazing card, and we're gonna see me pop off. I try to bait out this negate because a hero lives is good, but either way, I'm gonna end up doing what I wanted to do. What I want to do now is get Liquid Soldier and get a Poly in my hand, right? Because Liquid Soldier will let me draw cards, and Poly will let me fuse and pop off Liquid Soldier, and then I have Crosskeeper, which will let me draw more cards, which we will see right here. So he's gonna destroy it, and now his tier card is gone. We're going to special summon my boy back here because I want him back in my deck, and I have 𝗙𝗛𝗔𝗡 to send him back into the deck. So I summon also Blazeman to search off Poly. Now I have Poly. If you don't know heroes, you need Poly in your hand, and of course you need materials, but you need Poly as soon as possible, or Miracle Fusion in your hand. So I 𝗙𝗛𝗔𝗡, go into Liquid Soldier. I probably could have gone for Stratos, to be honest. I don't know if I have only one. I'm pretty sure I don't have one copy of it. So here's one misplay. I could have gone with Stratos, and then with Stratos searched out Liquid Soldier. But, so I go into Poly, and I fuse Liquid Soldier and Neos, because Neos is dead in my hand. I kind of want him in my graveyard. Multiple reasons why. Again, dead in my hand, but also 𝗙𝗛𝗔𝗡. I can't draw one more card and extend further. So I go into Sunrise with Sunrise now. So, if you guys don't know, Crosskeeper's effect, when he's in your graveyard and you fusion summon an elemental hero, you can remove it from play and then draw 2 and then return 1 card into the deck. And then Liquid Soldier, if it's used as a fusion material for an elemental or a hero monster in general, not just an elemental hero, then you draw 2 cards and discard 1. So after this play, I'm gonna have 5 new cards in my hand, and then I get to choose what I send back or what I send to the graveyard, and one of them is going to be a search for Miracle Fusion. So we'll let this play out. The chain's going through, and I get my Miracle Fusion. I get +2, and then I get +2 again. So here I decided to discard Shadow Mist because I get a free search off it when it gets sent to the graveyard, and right now it's kind of useless in my hand. And also off that, I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better hand. We got Triple T's, man. He did activate an effect so I can pop off Triple T's, and I'm going to. We also got a Stratos. We got Miracle Fusion, which will extend our plays. We got Neos Fusion, which will let me draw out special summon 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and then I always try to go for Neos just to be safe. I want Neos in my hand just in case he wants to get jiggy with it, if you will, and he will try to get jiggy with it. So I go for the Triple T's and I steal his chaotic motherfucker, and then I go for Neos Fusion and go for 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏s. But my boy here, he goes for the Nibiru, man, unfortunately. But hero decks don't necessarily, we don't want to see Nibiru, obviously, but we don't really care that much about Nibiru, you know what I mean? So I get this beast stick of a token, and then I'm like, okay, well, I can't really do much because I activated Neos Fusion. Neos Fusion locks me out of special summoning. I can't do anything else in this turn, and if I don't know if I've normal summoned this turn, but if I normal summon him, he can just swing over. I have 150 life points. I can't do much there. So good thing he's put this in defense mode, and then if he destroys my token and then tries to swing over or go for game, I have Neos, right? So good thing I put Neos in my hand. So then I use 𝗙𝗛𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and then put my boy Neos back and draw a card. Crosskeeper, really good card to draw off of that because it has a second effect and will help me draw. It will help me summon a monster. So Super Poly, I don't know if he top decked that, but that is a fucking amazing draw. And he's gonna go into Garura, and He could have technically, in his mind, he could have won. Maybe he knows I have Spirit of Neos, but he doesn't really know its full effect. I don't know, but he wants to BM me, and he special summons back his Chaotic Dragon and tries to swing for game, and I'm like, nah, man, that ain't how this rodeo goes down. And I summon Spirit of Neos. So Spirit of Neos' effect has two effects. Actually three technically really good effects. So if you are being attacked, you can special summon this card, and then when this card is special summoned, you can search a card that mentions Neos in its or elements, specifically Elemental Heroes Neos in its text, and this card cannot be destroyed if it's in defense or some shit like that by battle. So he tries to go for it. I get EN Engage Neo Space, maybe not the best choice, but I did want another copy of Poly. But the thing about EN Engage Neo Space is you need a Neospatian or an Elemental Hero in hand, and I'm probably going to be using Stratos next turn, so I won't have an Elemental Hero in hand. I guess I could search off something off Stratos, but anyways, this guy thinks he's won, and he goes into... He attacks Spirit of Neos, and it's just like, no, dude, you should learn how to read, basically. And he goes to the end phase, and I'm like, all right, here we go. Favorite Contact is here, so I can do something in his next turn if need be, but I pretty much think I won, right? I mean, I have Stratos and Crosskeeper, Miracle Fusion for a summon play. I can also get a Poly back, and then so on and so forth. So we'll see how this plays out. This should be the last turn. So I go with Crosskeeper, summon Stratos, and then I pop that spell or trap face down card right there because I'm afraid of it, to be honest. And I don't know if that was a good pop or not. Maybe I should have just searched when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while you control. Yeah, that card was useless to him, so I could have actually just searched. So then his Neo's... what's his face? I forgot his name. Spirit of Neos. His other effect is that he can shuffle himself back into the deck and then just special summon an Elemental Hero Neos directly from your deck to the field. So I do that so I can, I think, Link Summon. Yeah, so I go for Wonder Driver. Then I'd go for Miracle Fusion. Wonder Driver, if you summon an Elemental Hero underneath him, or one of the arrows he points to, but he only points up and down. So underneath him, if you summon an Elemental Hero, you can get a fusion spell card from your deck, right? So, or sorry, from your graveyard. So I'm gonna get back Miracle Fusion that I just used to get more plays going, and then I use Crosskeeper that I sent to the graveyard this turn to draw 2 more cards, and I go for another Miracle Fusion, this time for my boy. Wake up your motherfucking hero, let's go, I'm woken. And then I used... Here's another thing that a lot of hero players don't do is they blow their load turn 1. For example, they will banish Liquid Soldier on turn 1 when they already activated the drawing effect. You can't activate the effect twice, so it's better to save him in your graveyard for your next turn, so you can use them with Miracle Fusion and then draw 2 more. That's exactly what I did here, and that's why I have so much hand advantage right now. The unfortunate thing is that Instant Contact is dead to me because I only have 150 life points. But I pretty much won here because this is going to inflict damage according to the attack of the monster he's going to destroy, which is going to be this one. So once he battles, his life points are going to be more than half down the drain. And then 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧𝗧 I just went for game. So that is it, guys. That is how you play heroes like a champ. That is how you take down pussy motherfuckers that play tier elements. And that is how we do it in this channel. Catch you guys in the next one.